Hello there, my name is Spring Tigress, and I am here for episode 4 of Saints Pro Wrestling's Local to Global Challenge. Last week, we managed to move up from 10 popularity in the tri-state area to 11. Obviously, that doesn't seem like a big step, but hey, it's still 11 out of 17 popularity in the tri-state, which is how much we're going to need to get to tiny size. It may not seem like much now, but the closer we get to the goal, the more I will feel comfortable producing more shows a year, because the goal is to do at least one show a month for the first 2 in-game years. And technically, year 1 started in June, so it's not like I did a full year's worth of shows. So I think once we get to the next in-game year, I'm going to see a lot more progress in terms of a size increase. In the previous episode, I made 2 new signees, Crowbar and Laney Luck. Crowbar was able to debut on Saints Pro Wrestling during the previous episode, while Laney Luck was signed after the last show, so she did not get to make her debut yet, and will instead be making her in-ring debut in this episode. But as you can see, we're at $8,606, so we are going to get closer to the $10,000 goal, because once we get to either $10,000 or once we get to January of the next in-game year, I'm going to start investing in merchandise as another source of income. The main goal of this episode is to basically do the last 2 months of the in-game year 2025 and finish the first year and see the overall performance Saints Pro Wrestling has had, as well as examine what investments I'm going to be making next. November's show is tonight, so I'm just going to cut to that. Locker room incident. Anything interesting happened in the locker room? Several people have remarked that Danny D'Amato has been hanging out with Boom Harden recently and that he has started to have an influence. Okay, that's all it is. Those two are bonding. That's good. Do I want to do anything here? Not really. In our opening contest with decent wrestling and good heat, Atheram Amada defeated Chris Danger in 13 minutes and 28 seconds by pinfall. This match was designed to tell a specific story. I just wanted to get the major stars on the show and have a nice hot opener. The wrestling rating was 31. The crowd rating was 22, and the segment rating was 28. Aram Hamada had an in-ring performance of 37, and Chris Danger had an in-ring performance of 26. The bout dragged in the middle with a lack of flow being noticeable. This match got the crowd hotter and got the show off to a strong start, which is exactly what I was going for. In a decent wild brawl, Danny D'Amato defeated Adraza Giant Panda in 7 minutes and 39 seconds by pinfall with the cherry popper. The wrestling rating was 20. The crowd rating was 16, and the overall segment rating was 25. Danny D'Amato had an in-ring performance of 33, and Adraza Giant Panda had an in-ring performance of 8. 8, man. He's lucky he owns this promotion. In a decent match, Brittany Blake defeated the debuting Laney Luck in 13 minutes and 13 seconds by pinfall. The match was designed so that the wrestlers can go out and try to steal the show. The wrestling rating was 22. The crowd rating was 15, and the overall segment rating was 25. Brittany Blake had an in-ring performance of 26. Laney Luck had an in-ring performance of 18, and she got to debut her Party Girl gimmick, which got an initial rating of great. And oh, they did not click at all, and it showed in their performances. Ooh, Chris Danger did good work at ringside. Good. Lanny Link was rusty, but that will soon go away once she's had a few more matches under her belt. Okay? But it did get the crowd buzzing. The match got the crowd buzzing, so I can't really complain too much. And after the match, in a good 5-minute angle, we saw Brittany Blake attack Laney Luck after the match, being a sore winner, and then MJ Jenkins made the save. Chris Danger got on the microphone to cut a promo, basically accepting on Brittany Blake's behalf with MJ Jenkins' challenge. So these two are going to have another match at the very next show in December, and it got an overall rating of 38 and got the crowd on. The overall rating was 27. Yeah, I think we went down a bit. This show increased our popularity in one whole region. I don't think it's gonna be by much though. Let's dress the locker room. Let's give a hug to Danny D'Amato. I guess we can compliment Chris Danger on his promo. There you go. Let's see, ticket sales. I think ticket sales went up. Markers 290. Show cost. Yep. Marketing. Yep. So overall profit $231. Yeah, it's still 11. I'll be honest. I don't think I'm gonna do anything really. No. Let me check the creative to see if anything changed. No, nothing changed at all. And I'm going to show some restraint on hiring people for this episode. I thought about hiring one new person each month, but nah. Instead, I'm just going to finish this in-game year and then start hiring 2 more people in January. I'm going to move forward a bit unless something interesting happens in the game world. If not, then I'll just travel to the next in-game month to see November's profits. Saints Pro Wrestling was able to gross a total of $1,855 in the month of December. A small boost in ticket sales and sponsorships. Spent a little more on the workers, but like not that much more. Same with the show costs. Marketing the same. Production's actually less than it was the month before. Our taxes were a little higher, but again, we're getting more sponsors and our ticket sales are doing better. So there is still that. I have a total of $10,461 as the total gross for the company. Now that we're around there, I am thinking, should I invest in merchandise now, since that's also going to be a good source of revenue, or should I wait until January to do it? I gotta think about this because this is a good question.
5 minutes later.
You know what? Let's do it. And then we can just stop the upgrade if it costs too much money. So upgrade, we're going to do it at a conservative manner. So it's only going to be $20 per week and give us 7.5% of progress. But yeah, this is like non-existent. So far, we're going to expect to make an average around 20 cents per fan attendance. Let's give it a try right now. And if I think that it's going to cause the company to lose money, I will stop the upgrade as soon as possible. The next show is in 5 days, in 5 in-game days, so I'm going to fast forward for that unless more interesting things happen, since I don't really want to like hire people until the next episode. PJ Mana apparently butted heads backstage and are furious at each other. Why? It doesn't even say why they butt heads, just that it happened. Let's inspire them. This is the last show of the year. And a decent wild brawl to open the show. We have Danny D'Amato defeating Boom Harden and Andrez the Giant Panda in 8 minutes and 8 seconds when Danny D'Amato managed to pin Boom Harden with a cherry popper. And to the surprise of no one, he carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. The wrestling rating was 23, the crowd rating was 13, and the segment rating was 25. Danny D'Amato had an in-ring performance of 37. Boom Harden had an in-ring performance of 18. And then Dredd the Giant Panda had an in-ring performance of 14. Boom Harden was really off his game. But the match got the show off on a strong start. And in our second contest, and about that had good wrestling and decent heat, Lanny Luck and Athram Amada defeated Crowbar and Chris Danger in 13 minutes and 30 seconds when Amada managed to submit Crowbar. The match was designed to tell a specific story, and Amada carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. He had an in-ring performance of 48. Lanny Luck had an in-ring performance of 35. Chris Danger had an in-ring performance of 28. And Crowbar had an in-ring performance of 32. And the match got the crowd hotter. The wrestling rating was 36. The crowd rating is 19. And the overall segment rating is 40. So very good. Oh my god. And the ratings are getting better. And about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. MJ Jenkins and Brittany Blake ended in a time limit draw that says 13 minutes when it's supposed to say 15. Ignore that, that's a typo. It's supposed to say 15 minutes. When the time limit expired. And the match was designed so that the wrestlers could go all out and steal the show, and they did. During the match, we also had Chris Danger run in and attack MJ Jenkins. Wrestling rating, 40. Crowd rating, 19. Segment rating, 43. Yeah, MJ Jenkins had an in-ring performance of 38. Brittany Blake had an in-ring performance of 42. Their storyline advanced and gained heat. Chris Danger did some good work at ringside, and this match had the crowd buzzing. And then following that, these two had a good brawl that got a 41 rating and got the crowd hotter. So good job, ladies. These two are really carrying this promotion. It's insane. And oh my god, yeah, the overall rating is 41. I think this is the highest rating any of these shows have gotten so far. So this is a strong long way to end the year. This show increased our popularity in one region, which of course is the tri-state area. All right, let's address the locker room. Let's actually compliment Danny D'Amato for having to carry the two worst wrestlers in the company. And I'm gonna praise Ether Amada as well. Ticket sales went up a bit more. Merch 20. Got workers. I think the show cost a little more than last time. But our profit is $212. I mean, it's still something. And, oh wow, look at that! From 11 to 12, we just need 5 more points to boost our size from insignificant to tiny. I did not expect to go from 11 to 12 this quickly. Hopefully, we can keep that momentum going. We're at January 1st of 2026. According to here, the total revenue that was made during December of 2025 was $1,807, which is below the last 2 months, but still ahead of the months before that. Ticket sales continue to go up, as well as our sponsors. The workers' expense was more because we used everyone on the roster. The show cost was $1 less than the show cost here. Yeah, marketing's the same, that's never changed. And now we got the $80 for merchandise because we put money for merch and are currently upgrading it, so that's another expense. Production is $5 more than last month, but it's the same price as, actually yeah, it goes back and forth on how much production is. And then the tax is actually $3 less than the tax we paid the month before. This is still a pretty good profit. It's not that far off by the last 2 months. The sponsors deal is going up as well as the ticket sales, so that's very good. Again, we got merchandise as an expense now, but also as it continues to upgrade, that's gonna be a good source of revenue. Overall, progress has been made. This wasn't like a big eventful episode, but I think it's kind of fitting after how eventful the previous episodes were, and the company still had another size increase, even though it was just by 1 point. So let me know what you guys think of the series in the comment section below, what you like, what you don't like, what's your favorite part of these videos. I'm Spring Tigress, and I'll be signing out. Thank you very much.